You're watching a Highwire Media podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Political Pulse Show. As always, I'm your host, Larry Lease. Make sure you guys like this video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. So it's been almost a little over a week since Charlie Kirk was assassinated in Utah, and it's just been a really rough week for politics in general. And the impact that Charlie Kirk made was something that I think I'm not going to say like fully discounted, but I do think that we didn't really realize how impactful that it really was. When it comes down to things like this is a channel that focuses a lot on electoral politics. And that was one of Charlie's passions. He really wanted to get people engaged, young conservatives engaged, and get them out and voting. And that's really why he was as effective as he was. And you look at all these college campuses swinging 20 to 40 points to the right. I mean, Donald Trump himself is a clearly major reason for that. But Charlie Kirk going from campus to campus, debating the opposition, respectfully discussing, trying to change people's minds, a lot of that arrow shift wasn't just Donald Trump. Some of that, good chunk of it, was Charlie Kirk. And also what Charlie Kirk was able to do with Turning Point Action, just going out there and making sure that they could turn out voters or register voters, we would probably not have a Trump comeback victory if it wasn't for Turning Point USA. If it wasn't for Charlie Kirk. He truly was the second most important conservative figure in the country, and he really posed a threat to the opposition. And it's just one of the reasons why they decided, if not the reason why, they decided to take him out. One of these people. And that's why they celebrate when one of these lunatics takes him out, and it's horrific for sure. And I did want to cover a poll that we saw that relates directly to the left's worldview that ties into this. I did also want to look into some of the registration data because Charlie Kirk, he is somebody that really tried to engage voters. That's what he wanted, and it seems like this event shows that his legacy is going to live on in several, key states. I didn't want to jump in and talk about electoral politics too quickly because this definitely is like a major event. But at the same time, it's like this type of stuff in terms of the impact that Kirk has had, and will continue to have. The way that we can move forward is to make sure that we carry on his legacy and make sure that we don't let these demons take back power on the other side. There's no other way to put it, folks. There really is no other way. And I think the only way to do that is making sure that people stay engaged politically moving forward. So we're going to cover that first really quickly. So we have a poll, and this poll is from YouGov. And I know it's a left-leaning pollster, which I don't really think is going to help their cause, even when it comes down to it. But it turns out that 45% of people who are very liberal, the supposedly tolerant people, the supposedly peaceful people, remember? They say all the violence is from the far right. That's what the talking point is now. And they will release these studies. They'll consider certain things that really aren't political as far right. They'll consider prison violence far right. They'll consider Islamic terrorism in some cases, not all, far right. But when it comes down to the far left, they will just admit things blatantly would qualify. The call wouldn't go the other way where they would admit those things, and we understand that. But either way, it's clear to understand that left-wing violence is ramping up, and it's becoming acceptable. When you look at Luigi Mangione and his murder of a United Healthcare CEO gets celebrated, he becomes a hero to an entire wing of the Democrat Party, an entire wing of the left in general. It's horrifying. Because when you devalue, and I said it at the time and I'll say it again, when you devalue human life and you justify murder, nothing is acceptable past that point. And these people are following their own ideology to its logical conclusion. The far-right terrorists, a lot of them are schizophrenic. They're crazy. A lot of the things they do don't make sense when you even try to categorize them logically. But when it comes down to these people, they see people as evil Nazis. They believe that, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, you're Hitler if you disagree with them. And on top of that, the way they view it is like self-defense, or it's a necessity to cause harm to people that happen to disagree with them. And then when you put those two together, you have things like what we saw in Utah, like what we saw in Minnesota recently with the transgender shooter. And it's just absolutely terrifying that this is the way it is. But 45% of the people that are very liberal, they say that violence might be able to be justified. 25% just straight up say yes. Those who are very liberal also, just 55% of them, say violence is never justified. I don't know how you can live in a civil society with these people that believe that violence against you is justified. You can't. It's not compatible with a civil society. Now, those who are very conservative, 88%, say violence is never justified. So absolutely atrocious. And this is right after this thing happens, and you see this. It shows that conservatives are mourning, and the left is claiming that Donald Trump is the problem. The right is the problem. They're stoking the flames or whatever. Like, no, people are angry because they see what's going on in their country. And they're being peaceful about it, as they should and as they must. But there does need to be some sort of accountability at the same time. He just took out a very prominent right winger in the country. A lot of that was him. The map right here, that's why they hate the guy. And he's effective. And you have crazy people that follow this ideology to its logical conclusion that a lot of people on the left believe, even if they put out these boilerplate statements. And many people on the left, in viral tweets with hundreds of thousands of likes, are blatantly celebrating it. When it comes down to people like this is a guy who recently said that if you want Charlie Kirk to be alive, Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. He's basically saying, we're going to be able to beat you in a submission. He also said in the same interview that, right-wingers shouldn't be going to events like this if they want to be safe. It's basically just like mocking it. He's telling people that, they're responsible for this sort of thing. They're blaming the victim. It's disgusting behavior, and so many people in the mainstream media continue to promote people like him. They said he was going to be like the left-wing Joe Rogan. It's ridiculous. But I will say that in terms of a less negative note, there is one possible silver lining. And that is that people understand what they're up against and that they need to get involved and vote against these people and make sure they never see power again. And you look at North Carolina, even just since the event took place, Republicans gained 1,000 new registrations. And I assume that they possibly could gain more because usually the thing you do the next day isn't going out and register to vote. But is this a spike that you can see that is directly related to Charlie Kirk? Absolutely. I think you could see that. And the Democrats' lead, just like 9%, 10% of that lead overnight was gone because of what this person did. Because so many people understand what the left is about. It's not just that somebody did this on the left. It's also how the left has reacted. They've done nothing to turn down this temperature. They've blamed the right. They've told the right to turn down the temperature when they're the ones that are celebrating this, and they need to condemn it and say it has no place in their party. Anyone who's running for office in 2026 needs to answer that question on the Democrat side. Do you condemn this? Do you condemn the people celebrating this? And do you say that you don't want their votes? Because that's another thing. They will get a boilerplate statement, but will they actually say the actual thing that matters? Will you actually have people go out there and say that? Or are they going to point fingers and give a non-answer? I'm sick and tired of these politicians not giving straight answers for anything. And that thing kind of is a both sides problem. But for something like this, just repeat it. It's straightforward. It's a political layup. If they can't do that, I don't know what to say. But when it comes down to Pennsylvania, this was a state that was very crucial. Turning Point USA worked on it, and 1,000 vote gain for Republicans. A lot of party switchers, people switching the registrations. And that's, I think, what Charlie would want in his legacy, is for people to be politically involved. He did say he wanted to be remembered for his faith first and foremost. It's true. That's the most important thing for sure, but also for the legacy of his movement to live on, to engage people, engage young people, engage people in general, and get them out and voting and participating in the political process. Because this is typically something that you would say could demoralize people and make them less likely to speak up. But instead, you look at the data, you look at the raw numbers. I think that the left doesn't know what beast they've created. And it's not just the initial event, tragedy that happened, but how they have responded to it in the most disgusting way possible, to rub salt in the wounds. And you're seeing a massive shift continue in every single swing state. And we got to get out and vote in 2026 because we can't let these people have power again. We just can't. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like the video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. You can follow me on social media. All the links are in the description. And of course, you can support the channel by buying us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/twledger. As always, thank you so much for watching, listening. We'll see you next time.